On the afternoon of June 30th, the Taal Volcano in the Philippines produced this picturesque eruption. Three distinct explosions originated from its highly acidic crater lake as a small batch of shallow magma directly contacted the lake water, causing an explosive interaction. While the first and second explosion occurred 17 seconds apart, the third and largest explosion occurred 9 seconds after the second explosion. If we pause here, you can actually see multiple blocks of still very hot andesite lava that were ejected, falling back to the ground, each with a squiggly vapor trail or gas plume following them. As part of the heavier material in the plume fell back to the ground, pyroclastic surges were created, which raced outwards in all directions in essentially a circle, advancing over the lake at speeds that I determined were around 49.8 miles per hour or 80.2 kilometers per hour. These then jumped above the shoreline in some spots, advancing up to another 100 meters before coming to a halt. In total, an area of 1.21 square kilometers or 0.47 square miles were inundated by pyroclastic density currents, but this all remained confined to within the off-limits Taal Island, specifically within its large central crater rim. Thus, no one was there, meaning this eruption was harmless but scientifically interesting. What had just occurred was the largest distinct singular rather than prolonged eruption the Taal Volcano had produced in 8 months, and the second largest it had produced since its major and destructive subplinian eruption ended on January 22, 2020. Taal has in the years since produced semi-frequent episodes of distinct phreatic eruptions, that is, not involving magma, essentially being volcanic steam explosions, and phreatomagmatic eruptions, largely steam explosions that actually involved magma ejecting lava fragments. Here's a quick side-by-side comparison, albeit shown at different clip speeds, of the 3 largest phreatomagmatic eruptions seen since January 22, 2020. The associated eruption plume on June 30, 2026 rose up to an elevation of 1,200 meters or 3,937 feet, with the eruption lasting for 4 minutes. So far in 2026, 18 such isolated eruptions have occurred at Taal, 7 of which were phreatic and 11 of which were phreatomagmatic. Since the phreatomagmatic events involve lava and thus a greater amount of heat, they tend to produce larger explosions. Now, you are probably wondering what effects this eruption might have on the overall volcano and what it says about it. The answer, thankfully, is not much, nothing of concern in my opinion. You see, while small batches of rising magma from the larger magma chamber underlying much of Taal Lake had fed multiple phreatic and phreatomagmatic eruptive episodes, ground deformation sensors suggest that no more magma has risen to shallow depths beneath the lake since December 2024. Thus, all eruptive activity since then has involved bits of the same presumably small batch of magma stuck at shallow depths beneath Taal Island's main central crater lake. So, more intermittent small to medium-sized explosions might be expected in the next few weeks at Taal. Taal's behavior in historical time has largely consisted of the following: decades of no or little eruptive activity followed by years where a combined total of multiple distinct eruptions end up happening. After not erupting between 1978 and 2019, Taal has been in a highly active period where multiple eruptions have occurred across a multi-year timespan since 2020. While I've already noted that Taal Island has rightfully remained off-limits, I want to elaborate on an additional reason as to why this is the case. And we have this handy chart I've made to work off of, which shows what to generally interpret at Taal based on its recent seismic activity and amount of sulfur dioxide emissions. Typically, its eruptions would occur in these categories when either sudden increases or decreases in sulfur dioxide occur, the latter occurring alongside greatly increased seismic activity, or sometimes just increased seismic activity on its own. However, Taal is one of multiple worldwide volcanoes that, in my opinion, have produced eruptions that are sometimes nearly impossible or impossible to predict in the short term, with the June 30, 2026 eruption being one such example. If we look at the recent trend of seismic activity and sulfur dioxide emissions, you'll note that they essentially stay the same right up until after the eruption happened. Volcanoes are inherently somewhat unpredictable, just some volcanoes are more unpredictable than others in the short term. I hope that you found this video interesting. If you would like to request me to cover a specific video topic, please leave a comment below. As a final note, I would like to thank this channel's patrons on Patreon and channel members on YouTube for supporting my work.